No, I think it's good.
Hi, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining to our Hindi class. Today we are in a little bit different setting, but hopefully we'll try to make it as interactive as possible.
It's our new HUTV studio, or at least a replacement for today.
All right, so welcome again. This is Ashutosh, and with me we have Jennifer.
Hi, everybody.
Before we start the class, I have a couple of announcements to make. If you remember, a few weeks back, I started a thing called a new class for Hindi writing. So just let you know, April 19th, that weekend or Sunday, we will offer a Hindi writing class. Hindi writing class. There will be 8 sessions, and we'll try to cover it each Sunday, same time, 10 a.m. US Eastern. And by the end of those 8 sessions, you'll be able to read and write in Hindi script. Isn't that exciting?
That's great, yeah. And you can read anything.
Yeah, you can read anything. We'll try to draw the analogy between Hindi script and some other scripts as well. So it'll be not only just focused on Hindi language, but also we'll try to bring some analogy from other languages as well. This is the first time we'll be offering the Hindi writing course from Hindi University. So I'll try really hard from my side, and I hope will get the same response from audience as well. So that's one announcement. The second one is chapter leads. When I say chapter leads, we are looking for volunteers from universities, like what Pooja is doing right now from American University. If your university doesn't really offer a Hindi language course, and if you want to pursue some leadership opportunity, we are looking for local volunteers from each university who can sort of like start or form a language club or language group where like-minded people can come and discuss about Hindi language. So it'll be an opportunity for you to sort of like show your leadership skill. At the same time, you can bring other people from the university, other students from the university, and they will start learning the Hindi writing class. This is a milestone for us, so it's a good opportunity for us to start the chapter leads, and we'll provide all the mentorship and resources for you to sort of start and sustain the the local chapter at your university. So any questions that you can think of?
I can't think of anything.
What do you think of this idea?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of universities don't have language classes beyond Spanish and French. At least that's true at my university. And there's a lot of students who want to learn Hindi, so I think this is a good way of spreading the language.
Yeah. All right, so that's the second one. Now,
is there a cost for the writing class, Marcella asks?
No, there's no cost for it. It will be completely free. However, for the writing class, we'll try to provide certification as well. So the classes are completely free, assignments are completely free. But if you want to pursue it completely, for certification probably will have like a nominal cost, because I have to do a lot of work to sort of evaluate and grade all the assignments and all. So if you're trying to pursue a certification route, we will have a very nominal cost. But other than that, the class is completely free, and you will have like same level of interaction as we have currently.
And Marcella just asked to confirm the time of the class.
Same time, 10 a.m. US Eastern. Like basically the current class we will just the next class will be our like for the spoken language the spoken sessions that we are doing right now. The next class will be the last one, and on 19th we'll start the writing class. And again, the session will be recorded on YouTube. So in case if if there is a chance that you can miss the class, you can always come back and wrap it up again, right? I mean, you can revise it, the class again. So it's a good opportunity. But I think this will be a little bit more like thematic, in the sense like we'll try to finish everything in just 8 sessions. So by the end of 8 classes, you will be able to read and write it.
Yeah.
And we'll have several small assignments, because I know usually if you're working or if you're a student, it's very difficult to sort of do some more additional work on top of it, right? So we'll try to make it part of your schedule, so that way you don't really have to work extra hard for it. So, good. Anything else, Marcella? Okay, so I'll try to like upload a video for it so that where all your questions are like clarified as in terms of writing classes as well. So far I've received great response. About 100 people they already registered for the Hindi writing class. All I need your help is like spread the word. So if you know of your student or if you have friends in other universities, please share the information with them so that way they will get to know about it as well. Right. So now let's start the topic.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What is the topic for today, Ashu?
How do you say yesterday and day or maybe tomorrow? How do we say yesterday and tomorrow in Hindi? Do you know that?
I do, but I can use the formula. Would you like me to use the formula?
Why don't you use the formula?
So, Hindi में yesterday को क्या कहते हैं?
So, Hindi में yesterday को कल कहते हैं. I'll write it down here. कल. And for people who just joined today, as you can tell that she used a formula which is Hindi में yesterday को क्या कहते हैं. So anything you want to find out, you just replace with the word and then you finish the sentence. So Hindi में yesterday को क्या कहते हैं, right? Hindi में yesterday को कल कहते हैं. What about
and then Hindi में tomorrow को क्या कहते हैं?
Hindi में tomorrow को भी कल कहते हैं. Right? So Hindi में tomorrow को कल कहते हैं.
So here we have an existential problem that yesterday and tomorrow are the same.
They both are same. Is there any other language where you can think of where you use the same word for yesterday and tomorrow? What about Spanish? Do you know that? No.
No, I do know it. It's a different word.
What do you use for Spanish?
Tomorrow is mañana, and yesterday was ayer.
Ayer. So it's a different.
Yeah, different. I don't know about other languages.
Okay. So it's like
maybe our audience.
It's like a good quiz question. Why don't you think about your language, or if you can think of any language where both the words have the same word in the target language. So in this case, it's kal. Okay. Can you think of some Hindi like movie names that has skull in it?
Yes, you posted some on Facebook. I think one was. I've never seen any of these movies. I admit. I think one was like. Marcella says, "Kal ho na ho."
Okay, so we have.
Thank you, Marcella, for saving me on that question.
Kal ho na ho.
And wasn't there one that was like Kal Kisne Dekha or something?
Okay,
was that one?
That's Kal ho na ho. That's one movie. Second one is Kal Kisne Dekha. I hope the letters are big enough. What else?
That's all I know. I'm being revealed. I'm not a Hindi movie buff.
What else anybody else can think of?
Marcella says we can see. Sorry, Marcella.
Kal kisne dekha, kal ho na ho, and
do you have one, Andrew?
now you're putting me on spot. I'll just make it up. Nobody knows.
Marcella apparently will know.
Okay, so Kal Ki Kahani. Who knows if there's a movie or not?
Well, we know there's a movie called Kahani.
There's a movie called Kahani.
A very good movie.
Kal Ki Kahani.
Okay.
Okay. Now, think about it. What kind of tenses are being used here? So, although the same word is used for both tomorrow and yesterday, it really depends on how we are using it, right? How we are using kal. If we are using it in the context of past, then it's yesterday. If we are using it in the context of future, then it's tomorrow. So kal ho na ho. What do you think? It's the future or
it is not the future?
It's not the future.
What you're doing with your eyebrows makes me think it is the future.
It is the future, right? I mean,
kal ho na ho. Yeah.
Can you guess the meaning of what
tomorrow? It will be what it will be.
We don't know whether tomorrow there will be tomorrow or not.
We don't know if there will be.
So my wife and I we often discuss it. There will be tomorrow. We don't know whether we will be in tomorrow or not. God, so this is future, right?
Okay. Okay, this one.
Kal kisne dekha?
Past.
Why?
Oh no.
Dekha is what? Dekhna is to see, right? Dekha is
To watch.
so you see the name is here. We have not
Right.
done it here.
That's why I thought it was past.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kal kisne dekha, you're right about it. Your name is usually used in the past, but it means who has seen, you know, tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Kal kisne dekha.
So that's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because you've seen yesterday, right? You
Right.
know what happened
Right.
yesterday. So
Okay.
kal kisne dekha,
Okay.
right?
So I'm over 2 on these so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kal ki kahani.
Okay. I would say past tense.
So it's both. It can fit into both.
I would say yesterday's story.
Yesterday's story. I mean, we're using it in the context of yesterday's story, so you're right about it.
That's past tense.
Okay. So kal ki kahani would be a story of, you're right about it, but if you use it in a way that, you can always make it like, it's a story of tomorrow.
Start.
Right? I mean,
Okay.
but you're right. Right now, it's yesterday's story.
Okay.
Good, right?
Very
Why
good.
don't we divide it and then approach it?
Let's do
Otherwise,
it.
we did the quiz before
That's
doing
right.
the lesson,
Yes.
right? So let's start the lesson first.
Let's do that.
So in order for us to understand how to use kal, let's try to understand the past tense in Hindi first, right? And in the last class we did the present continuous. In this class, let's do past continuous, and then we'll see how we can use kal in it, right? So we have past continuous tense. So give me a simple word which we have not used before.
Likhna.
Likhna.
Have we used that before? I don't think so.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. So likhna is to
Correct.
likhna is to write. That's likhna, to write. Okay, so now let's make different sentences, simple sentences of likhna in past continuous. So as we all know, initially when you want to make sentences for different pronouns, you always take the first part of your infinitive word, right? And you will say likh raha. That's continuous, like likh raha, likh rahi, and likh rahe.
And so just the translation for past continuous, this is I, if you had I here, I was writing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was my next question to you.
Sorry.
What are the scenarios? When do you think, like in the real life scenario, you will be using past continuous?
So if you called me and you said, what were you doing
What were you doing yesterday?
yesterday? I was writing.
Yeah. And what if somebody's interrogating you? Like
What were you doing last night?
Yeah, right. So those are
Like
kind
a
of
talk
scenarios.
show.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. I mean, those kind of scenarios we'll be using past continuous, right?
Okay.
Things you were doing in action. Right? Likh raha, likh rahi, and likh rahe. Right. In the present we'll use hai, but in the past, you use a likh raha tha, and I'll tell you the pronoun also in the next phase. Likh raha tha. You'll use it for main, which is your masculine, like मैं लिख रहा था, I was writing. For a female, it will be मैं लिख रही थी. It means I was writing, right? And then for you were writing would be आप लिख रहे थे. आप लिख रहे थे. What about other pronouns? हम, we, right? हम लिख रहे थे. We were writing. हम लिख रहे थे. And similarly, they, which is third person plural, right? So for they we use we. Even for that there will be we. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's we लिख रहे थे. They were writing. Any other
We
pronouns?
didn't do
Vah. Vah is he or she or it, right? So he was writing or she was writing. It could be वह लिख रहा था. He was writing or she was, or she actually will be वह लिख रही थी. We'll go over it one more time, but the idea is to sort of fit in all the pronouns in the table, so that way you can go over it. What about
and
two?
we didn't do two and two.
Two and
We
two.
always tricky two and two.
Yeah, I mean, I usually leave it for the end.
Right.
Right. So two is like your informal you.
Mhm.
Right. So for male it will be तू लिख रहा था. You know, you were writing. And for girl it will be तू लिख रही थी.
This is two and two.
Sorry, you're right. So it will be तू लिख रही थी. Now तुम. What do you think? तुम, where will you think it will fit?
Any guesses from the audience?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Audience? The audience is thinking.
Okay, take your time. What about tum? Where do you think tum will fit? So we've done similar thing in the past. You know, if you don't want to be very specific and if you want to give respect, right? If you don't want to specify whether it's like a male versus female, you can put it here. Tum likh rahe the, right? I can call it to my daughter as well as my son. You know, if I have like tum likh rahe the or tum likh. So you know, I can say that, and it's a grammatically correct one. However, if I want to be really explicit about it,
Yes.
right, I can, you know, if I have a daughter, I'll say tum likh rahi thi. You know, or if I have a son, we'll be like tum likh rahe the. So for a son, it will be tum likh rahe the. You know, for sure, it will be tum likh rahe the, right? But for a daughter, I can be specific. If I want to be specific, it will be tum likh rahi thi. Or if I want to be indifferent, like, you know, if I want to give the same respect, you know, I should be using tum likh rahi thi. Tum likh rahe the.
Gotcha.
So I'll just put it here for the simplicity's sake. So that way there's hardly any confusion. So it's like tum likh rahe the.
Okay.
Now, so far so good.
So far, so good.
Right? I hope the table is visible to everyone. If not, I'll.
Yeah, if you can't see it, just type in the comments. And you can always move it around.
Now, just to repeat again, तू, मैं and वह will be लिख रहा था for a male. तू, मैं and वह for a female will be, or for a feminine, you know, pronouns will be तुम लिख रही थी. And for all the plurals and, you know, आप, हम, वे and तुम लिख रहे थे. Now, when we talk about time, right? I mean, now these are the affirmative sentences. In order for us to use, you know, kal or yesterday, we need an interrogative, right? Which interrogative is missing here? You know, if I were to ask you a question, I have to use an interrogative. Interrogative in English will be
what?
When.
Oh, when were you writing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. What is like what? Like
what were you writing?
Yeah. Right. And then you say I was writing a letter or something like that.
Sure.
But when it comes to time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
When. Yeah.
When it will be the interrogative will be when. And that's, you know, should be there in your sentence in order for somebody to respond, you know, that I was writing yesterday or I will be writing tomorrow. Right. हिंदी में
when को क्या कहते हैं?
So she asked me question हिंदी में when को क्या कहते हैं? And हिंदी में when को कब? So even though she knows about it, if she wants to inquire about the interrogative, right? हिंदी में when को कब कहते हैं? Let's see if there is a question. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcella said kab. Yeah.
So that's correct. Now, now let's say the same sentences, you want to convert them, you know, ask them as a question.
Yes.
Right. Let's say you are acting like a cop now, and I'm the suspect.
Oh wow, this is
right.
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of question will you ask me, and then we'll switch the roles.
Okay.
Right.
Using like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing. Like let's say you are as a cop came to my house and you are trying to interrogate me.
Okay. So I could say, Ashu Ji,
Mhm.
uh,
Act like a
Ashu Ji. Sorry.
well,
I'll be a
cops
gentle cop.
cops
Ashu Ji.
don't say G.
Okay, fine. Ashu. आप कब लिख रहे थे?
मैं कब लिख so you see right she used आप so she asked me आप कब लिख रहे थे. If you were a rude cop
Yeah, I might go with.
and you want to say तू,
I would say Ashu.
Hmm.
तू कब लिख रहा था?
Sounds very mean.
I try to do it mean, yeah.
Yeah, sounds very mean when it's coming from. Okay, so मैं कब लिख रहा था? मैं कल लिख रहा था. Right. So what I did is like I used मैं because male. I'm placing the time here. Right. So मैं कल लिख रहा था. I was writing yesterday. Now you can ask follow-up question as to what was I writing,
Okay.
right? Or what was I thinking, or what was I doing? Got it, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say you were thinking something. I interrupted you. From
No. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's say you as a cop you interrogated me. Right? Now you as a cop now you want to interrogate Pooja. She's in the American University and you're calling her. Let's say, right? What will you know?
Yeah, so I would say Pooja. I know you're out there. Pooja. Well, I'm not. I shouldn't offer. She's a suspect.
Both of yeah.
Okay, so Pooja. तू कब लिख रही थी?
Okay, so when were you writing? And let's say if you're a polite person,
I would say.
Or as a professor.
say Pooja ji. आप कब लिख रहे थे?
आप कब लिख रहे थे? Or if you want to be specific, आप कब लिख रही थी? Even for a female, you can do that, right? If you want to be really specific. Good. Now let's say you are interrogating audience in general as a mass, right? Then
I would say वे कब लिख रहे थे?
So in this case, you're referring to third like group of people, like वे कब लिख रहे थे, right? I mean, let's say I have a group of employees, right? And you are asking me about them. So वे कब लिख रहे थे? So वे कल लिख रहे थे. I hope it is making sense how we sort of like use it here. So I'll just write it again one more time. So kab will go here. Kab, and even the answer when you're saying so kab is when, and when I say the answer also yesterday it'll be basically coming here, right? Hopefully it is clear.
So far so good, everybody. Yeah.
There's this giant big thing, and all that.
Just give me a minute.
We can hear. You can see.
If you're just watching it, we'll open it up for discussion later on. So just mute yourself, so that way, we don't hear any background noise. We'll open it up for discussion towards the end. So if you have any questions and all, we will be going over it. Let's see. So far, this is an affirmative form. I will not dive deep into the negative and all, but at least we can discuss it here, right? So let's say, you want to say, again, if you come back to past continuous, and you want to say, I was not writing, or she was not writing, he was not writing, right? Only thing which is missing from these sentences is like a negative word. No, I not, right? So it will be nahi. Nahi is missing here. Right? So nahi where will it replace nahi? It will be placed here as well, right? So what is the meaning of मैं नहीं लिख रहा था?
I was not writing.
Okay. वह नहीं लिख रही थी.
She was not writing.
So good, right? So she said she was not writing because there's a T in it, right? and then आप नहीं लिख रहे थे.
You were not writing.
You were not writing. And then वे नहीं लिख रहे थे.
They were not writing.
They were not writing. Okay. Good. Now if you want to make it interrogative. So far when we used the interrogative, we used cub here, and that was placed here, right after your pronoun.
Right.
But let's say you want to say, what are they writing? Before you even start your interrogation, you can ask this question like, what were they doing? Were they writing? Or what was she doing? Was she writing? Right? So kind of scenario will be, was she writing? That's your question, and then you can further inquire about the type of writing. Right?
Sure.
So where will you put interrogative in this case?
I think what I would do is I think I might put it at the very beginning.
That's right.
Yeah.
You would put it in the very beginning, and now in this case the interrogative will be
Yeah.
kya. Very good. I'm going a bit fast, so let me know if there are any questions. We'll try to slow it down as well. I'll try to repeat it so that way it's everybody's following it. So if I say क्या वह लिख रहा था, so I put क्या right before this pronoun. Just give me a quick minute so that way I can put it. So if I were to say क्या वह लिख रहा था, what does it mean?
That is, was he writing?
Was he writing? Why he? Okay. What if I put kya after the pronoun?
I think that's fine.
Will it be same?
Yeah. I think that would mean, what was he writing?
What was he writing? So you see the difference between both of them. I'll repeat it again, and we'll do similarly for all of the pronouns. So when you say kya vah likh raha tha, it means, was he writing? Right? When we say vah kya likh raha tha, it means, what was he writing? So there's a difference between both of them.
Yes.
And answer will be different as well. Right? In the first case, when you say kya vah likh raha tha, your answer will be yes or no. Right? You'll say either हाँ वह लिख रहा था, or नहीं वह नहीं लिख रहा था. In the second case, when you say वह क्या लिख रहा था, what will be your answer?
So that's what was he. So maybe a letter or
There will be
a story or something.
good, right? Or a novel.
A novel.
Right? I mean, if I'm asking,
Right.
I mean.
Right.
Now let's go to the next section. Let's say I want to say वह क्या लिख रही थी. It'll be, what was she writing? Same way. And if I put interrogative before the pronoun, will be क्या वह लिख रही थी, and your answer will be
Yes or no.
yes or no. Let's do the third one, so that way repetition is there and everybody will be able to follow. In this case, let's say we use वे. क्या वे लिख रहे थे? It means, were they
writing?
Were they writing? And again, answer will be yes and no. Second sentence will be वे क्या लिख रहे थे? Right? वे क्या? What were they writing? Right? So not only we used, just to repeat, not only we used interrogative kab, which is when, we also used interrogative called kya, which is like what. And you can use it, this interrogative before your pronoun, in this case, and after your pronoun. Right? Good so far?
Good so far. Yeah.
Right. So let's move on. So this is when you used kal in your past tenses, right? Now, if you say kal ki kahani, if you go back to our example,
Right.
Let's say we use another formula. You don't know the meaning of kahani. You just hear the Hindi word kahani, right? And in the last class, we learned the formula, which will help you clarify the meaning of any Hindi word, right? And how to ask it in Hindi.
I would say कहानी मतलब क्या है?
Okay, so if you just want to say कहानी मतलब, that's fine too. और कहानी का मतलब,
कहानी का मतलब क्या है?
कहानी का मतलब क्या है? That's very easy way to ask a question in Hindi. कहानी का मतलब क्या है? So कहानी का मतलब story है. कहानी का मतलब story है. You already know कल meaning yesterday, or it could be tomorrow as well. And we have word called key. Key is an
Post position.
post position. It's a post position, right? In English you have a preposition. In Hindi we have a post position, right? So it will be yesterday's story, right? Um, Hopefully it is clear to everyone. And whenever now your task is to find out all the other Hindi movies or Hindi words or sentences where you will have kal in it, right? So that way you can break it down and sort of find out the meaning of it. Good exercise,
Very
right?
good exercise.
Let's do a quick time check. Any questions so far before we move further? Let's have a feel free to write down on the chat box any questions you may have before we learn the usage of kal in future tense.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for this.
So let's have a quick show of hands or list of questions. Okay. So I think everybody is doing good. So let's jump to the next section. How to use kal in future. Yeah. So I'll just do future indefinite in this class, so that way most of our tenses will be done. So in this case, it will be future. By the way, we are missing a lot of students from our class.
Maybe because it's Easter.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Nemanin
And Passover too.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
both,
Nemanin is not there.
Yeah, and Lina.
Amina is not there. Rina is not there. So I hope you can.
We miss you guys.
Yeah. You can watch the recording as well and know that we always remember you guys, right? Now let's take another word for future indefinite, right? Let's say karna, because we don't really do karna.
Karna is a good one. Yeah.
Right? Karna is to do. It really depends on how you're using it. That's it, right? What about kaam karna? If I say kaam karna, it will be
to do your work.
To do your work, right? Or to.
One question. Yes, Marcella. To work. Yes.
Yeah, to your work. Yeah. Right. So let's just discuss in plain English, like what kind of scenarios you'll be like thinking when you're thinking of future indefinite. I will do my work, right?
I will cook dinner.
I will cook dinner. I will write.
I will win $1 million.
Okay. When?
Trump.
Right. So when? What else?
I will go to Seattle.
Okay, let's start using when in the sentences, so that way the context will start coming. When will I go to Seattle? When will you come back from work?
Yeah. When will you learn to drive?
When will you learn to drive? Right. As a professor, what kind of sentences you.
When will you turn in your paper?
When will you turn in your paper?
Right.
What else?
When will you finish the reading?
Okay. So those are kind of scenarios, right? When you will use, where you will use when, and its future, in the future context, right? Right. So we'll just use one simple word and we'll create variations of it. Right. So verb here is काम करना. You can think of it as homework karna as well, although it sounds like a punishment, but So we'll just use kar. We'll just use anything before na, right? So when you're using it in the future, again, because Hindi is an inflected language, based on the pronoun, the word will change as well, right? So in English, you just have he will work or she will work,
right?
But in Hindi, it will change basically, right? And then when I say vah, or when I say we'll just simplify it. Okay, so मैं काम करूँगा. So what I have here is like करूँगा. Write it मैं काम करूँगा. The difference here is like you just added unga here, right? So you have kar from here, but you just added karunga here. मैं काम करूँगा. I will work. For a girl, it will be मैं काम
करूंगी.
करूँगी. You just added ungi here. मैं काम करूँगी. I will work. Now let's say आप, right? आप. I hope you can see it here. आप काम
करूंगे.
आप
करूंगे.
no
करूंगे.
करोगे. You can use करोगे, but let's say if you want to simplify it,
Uh-huh.
आप काम करेंगे.
करेंगे.
You want to give respect, so it will be कर. E-N. My handwriting is so bad. करेंगे. We'll repeat it again so that way it's clear. So for a male, it will be I will work. मैं काम करूँगा. So you just added unga at the end. For a girl, मैं काम करूँगी. You added ungi at the end. I will work. आप काम करेंगे. Now let's start filling all the other pronouns as well, right? So when we say hum, which is we, it'll be हम काम करेंगे. We will work. When we are referring to third person, they will work, it will be वे काम करेंगे. Good. Right? Let's say you are referring to a male, वह, he will work, will be वह. Okay, so far you were putting it here, right? We always put like मैं लिखता था, right? As वह लिखता था. But when we're talking about future, it will be different. So it will be वह काम करेगा. Getting it right? So it's a little different. So sorry for making it one more rule, but it will be वह काम करेगा. करेगा. Can you think of knowing the semantics of the language now?
Yeah.
What will be for she will work?
I would say वह काम करेगी.
करेगी. Good, right? So she said वह काम करेगी. So I'll just probably write it, here only. So this is for a male. For a female, it will be वह काम करेगी. Good, right?
Yeah.
It's probably difficult because future in general is a little bit difficult, but we'll go over it one more time. What other pronouns are missing?
So we do two and two.
Two and two are missing, right? The problem is, future is a little bit difficult, and
You need a bigger board.
Yeah, we need a bigger board, right? So let's simplify it here. So वह is clear, right? Right. So वह काम करेगा and वह काम करेगी for male and female. मैं काम करूँगा, मैं काम करूँगी. For male and female here. Look at it together, and then आप, हम and वे काम करेंगे. You look at it here, right? Now two will be same as this one. So two काम करेगा. You will work, which is very like informal. You. तू काम करेगी. Same. Right. So I'll just put two also will go in the same bucket. tum, it's different, right? For tum, it's only one sentence, so I'll probably this one away. Do you know for tum what will you use?
I don't know.
Okay, so it'll be tum काम करोगे. तुम काम करोगे. Hopefully it's clear now. It's a little bit.
I moved the camera down a little bit, but if anyone can't see, just let us know. And we had one question.
There's one question. Is वह being used in colloquial speech, or would you pronounce as वो? So you're all right about it. Like वह is a more formal way of saying he or she, but usually on a day-to-day conversation you use वो. In fact, like in the stories also you will mostly, because when they're writing it like a story, they'll just use वो in it, right? But वह is like a more like a formal way of saying he and she. So, but you're right about it. So again, tum can be referred to both male and female. Tum काम करोगे, right? I mean, if you want to be really specific, you can say tum काम करोगी. But I prefer you as of now. Don't memorize too much. And just use. So one quiz here, you can pick any new word, any word like likhna or bolna, and then you can come up with all the sentences for all the other pronouns, right? All these kind of pronouns. You can use the formula and apply it on a new word. Now, where do you use
Kal.
kal, right? That was the main topic. Where do you use kal in it, right? Before that, you'll be using when, right? मैं काम करूँगा, right? और वह काम करेगा. When will he work? What will be the sentence like? वह काम करेगा. वह काम. वह कब काम करेगा? Okay. So you are putting कब here, right after the pronoun कब. So let's. So if I put a pronoun here, interrogative here, which is कब. So वह कब काम करेगा? It means when will he work? आप कब काम करेंगे?
When will you work?
When will you work? वे कब काम करेंगे?
When will they work?
And तुम कब काम करोगे?
When will you work?
Right. When will you work? When will you submit your homework? Say that in Hindi.
So तुम
और तुम homework.
तुम homework कब काम करोगे?
No. In this case, you're getting submit. Let's say you're using submit. Submit karna as your verb. Submit is like
Oh, submit karna. Okay. So तुम कब submit करोगे?
तुम homework कब submit करोगे? Submit, we're just using like English word here, but the idea here is like whether you can use the same thing in a different context or not. So तुम homework कब submit करोगे, right? Let's say if I'm giving instructions to my son, like when will you clean your teeth, right? I mean, so तुम you want to come over there?
For clean your teeth. So तुम कब साफ करोगे?
So you using साफ करना as your verb, right? So तुम कब दांत is your teeth, साफ करना, so साफ करोगे, right? Don't worry if you don't know the verb or if you don't know the specific particular word. The idea here is like as long as you can construct your verbs properly, it'll be fine. I hope today's session is useful. It's a time check is we already have 10:48. I think we can open it up for discussion, right?
Yeah.
So for people watching online, we'll be meeting again next Sunday. As I said at the beginning of the class, on April 19th, 10 p.m. we'll be starting a Hindi writing class.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. As you know, I make mistakes. So same time we'll be starting, Hindi writing class. Please feel free to pass the word around so that way we can reach out to more and more people. If you want to start a local university chapter, I'll be more than glad to help you. And That's it. So we'll open it up for discussion. Now the discussion will not be broadcasted. So